Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, people. So we are back again discussing on issues of church, GBV, GBV in church. So I'm here with Anita. Today she has a flu, so her voice may be shaky kidogo, but we are hopeful that we're going to have a fruitful discussion as we had planned. So I will just start up, like we said, we're just having short conversation. So I'll just jump right into the question that we had. Anita, following up on the comments that people had made and people that reached out, mtu alikuwa amesema that most of the time victims in church don't actually come out because they feel that in a way people will blame them because it was consensual, so do you think it's actually consensual? Walikubali like wafanyiwe hizo vitu, maybe demons zitoke ama mashida zao zipungue? That is when we're talking about sexual violence in church. Do you actually think it's consensual?
Well, you see, by the time that is happening in church, of course, the people don't think about consent, or rather, that doesn't cross their minds at all. It's like somebody says hypnosis. Like hypnosis. This thing will happen, but these people will think they're doing the right thing, and they will think that this person who is doing this is doing it the right way. This is God's way. This is what God has told them to do. So whether there's consent or not, they'll be pushed to do whatever it is they have to do to get prayed for, or have someone help them with whatever it is they're going through. So yeah, I don't think consent really crosses their mind. Yeah, so whether there's consent or not, which in most cases I'm sure there's no consent at all. And if it's consented, it's that one from hypnosis. Yes. So they think they're doing the right thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can actually say it's like you're just being manipulated.
Exactly.
It's like you're meant to think that without me as the pastor, your life can never have a meaning.
Yeah.
When you pray, God will not listen to your prayers, or He won't hear you, because basically it's like you're more sinful as compared to the pastor, which is true. And I want us to discuss, let's say if you find yourself as a victim in church, what do you think, like how should people handle these cases? Because I know there are particular churches are like, no, let us first do internal investigations, let us do our own thing, and then we'll see how we handle it. Or do we just take it, by law, GBV it's falls under the criminal cases? Or should we just, the victim should just push forward and straight to the police and have things taken care of?
I think the best thing is to go to the police. Because one thing is for sure, if the church decides to have internal investigations, nothing is going to happen. And usually that is what happens in church. They decide we'll do internal investigations, and then really the perpetrator is not punished, nothing is done. So the survivor is left there stranded and not helped, and feeling really shameful, and all that. Their dignity is stripped. I think the best thing is to just go to the police and have it done the legal way. Yes. But now the other thing is that the perpetrator may need help, and they may also need help from people from the church.
The perpetrator or the victim?
The victim. The victim needs someone from the church or people from the church, to help, because at some point, I'm sure they ask about witnesses.
Yeah.
So if it happened in church, I'm sure they will request for witnesses.
No.
And if these people can be manipulated by the church officials, they're probably not going to say anything. If maybe they witness this happening, they're not going to say anything for fear of being victimized too, or being ostracized from the church or whatever. Yeah, so I think, I don't know.
So we can say that, okay, we will always keep in mind that it is a legal issue.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like a crime issue. So
It
we
is.
say.
It is.
So you can actually maybe inform. Let's like the church that I go, we start from structure kutoka chini. We have Bible studies, and then Bible studies you'd serve in a ministry, and then from a ministry, per each you have like a pastor under you. So we can say, let's say at the Bible studies, there are pastors who, how do I say, they, let me say commission, sijui nasemaje, but commission, wanachunga hizo like in 5 study groups, huyu pastor anapatiwa. So maybe we can start with your pastor.
Yeah.
Like, by the way, this thing has happened to me, and since it's someone from the church, I feel like I can start here for better nini. But let's say if it's sexual violence and everything, definitely you've umesha report kwa polisi, because you're not going to stay all that and wait for the church to, because remember, you're not supposed to shower cases of sexual violence, you're not supposed to change your clothes, so you're not going to stay there and be like utazunguka church mzima.
And I don't think many people actually are aware. You see, let's say in a context where there's sexual violence, but there's no form of penetration or anything, so it's just an assault. No, let me not choose just, because it's something really big. It's an assault, and you want to report this. You need people who are going to take this seriously.
Yes.
Even when you go to the authorities, they need to take this seriously. Still, I know there's still a gap. I know now there's a department of the police, they deal with SGBV and all that. So if you get that department and they take it seriously, even an assault is something that should be punished. It should be investigated, and punished. Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I believe, okay, we can say, so before we come to, like, I would want to ask, like, do you think the church, like, has a role to play when we talk about GBV issues? Like, can they help in prevention, of GBV cases, so to say?
I have my doubts.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. I have my doubts. I don't know about their effectiveness. I've never seen it. I've never heard of it. So I can't say that they can really help in investigating this. Yeah, because otherwise we'd have these people the church taking these issues seriously, and going the legal way, not even dealing with this thing internally. This is a crime, and it should not be like an internal investigation and then what. Yeah, so it should be, they should also take it the legal way, so that even the congregation knows that we are protected and we are safe in this space. Yeah.
So I feel like, I think that the church, it's a crucial institution that they have a crucial role to play when it comes to issues of GBV or even sexual violence in church. I feel like making it known to the congregants that you actually, if any of the any leadership or anyone in church violates you in church grounds, or even outside church grounds, so long as the connection that you came to know these people or activities that you're engaging in is through church, the mutual nini hapo, it's church. I feel like the church has a role to play. You can make your congregants be aware that they can come to the pastoral team or elders of the church and be comfortable to report without any prejudice or discrimination. I also feel like now talking about GBV at home, I feel like when we are having those premarital counseling, I've never had one, but I'm trying to imagine, okay, the people that I've had, when it's all about being submissive versus being loving, it's all Bible verses and everything, and it's a good thing, because definitely in a relationship you can't make it without God. However, I want, on issues of GBV, can we have these things discussed during premarital counseling? Let it be made known, and especially the pastor that officiates the marriage. It's like, in a way, they kind of become responsible, for you, or those couple, the couples that you're given, like a couple that you wanna walk with you through the journey of marriage. Can people come to you comfortably, and you handling those issues of GBV without being biased? Okay, if the perpetrator is a man, can you actually handle that without, doing Bible verses all the time?
Exactly.
Because after a while, someone will die, and I believe, someone actually quoted and said that Christ had already died for us. So it does not justify why we are still dying, human being dying for another human being.
Yeah.
Christ did that. It's not.
Yeah.
It is not within our jurisdiction to do it.
And one thing that people were actually talking about is this thing about God hates divorce. That somebody is so willing, or somebody is being pushed to stay in an abusive marriage,
Yes.
because God hates divorce.
It reminds me, there is a wedding I attended some time back, and let me just quote this one because I was taking notes actually, and when they were talking about, they were running down on things to put into consideration if you want to have a successful marriage and all. And then when it came to the issue of divorce, they said that nothing should make you people divorce. Like, you should not allow anything to make you divorce. And I felt like I agree. A relationship needs work. It's lazima. It's like both of you rowing, so you have to put in work, right? It's not a matter of kitu kidogo imefanyika, you pack your bags and go. Like the way they say last bots, ukimshautia kidogo amebeba bag ameenda. Ukimwongelesha ti umeniongelesha vibaya amebeba bag ameenda. We're not talking about those issues. But we're talking about matters of life and death.
Yeah.
There is this story that this lady was, I think many people have followed it. The way this lady, the boyfriend, okay, they were not in a marriage situation, but they were staying together. And the boyfriend, would feed the lady over time with the abortion pills. So, like, the lady had been taking, and he would insert, the pills in her, and when anampatia drinks and everything, he kept on lacing the drinks with abortion pills. So by the time this lady realized that this is what had been happening, that whatever the doctors told her is like, the child, even if we push it, they're not going to make it. One already, like, the uterus had been damaged, everything uko ndani, everything was just in a mess. And the doctors were telling her, no matter how much you're trying to push with this, it's not going to work, because she would bleed, she would get weak, she couldn't do anything, And in such cases, so they had to reach a point, they had to now, get rid, like, remove the fetus to save them all. And then you were done with all of that, and then you still go back to the relationship. I felt like, okay, the doctor said that if they had not discovered it early enough, both the baby and the mother would have died. So would we say that as attempted murder? Or rather, for us who don't know much about the law, si tunasema tu alimuua, in simple terms, right?
Yeah. And the thing about this violence, it's not only physical, it's emotional, it's financial. Yeah, so things that can cause someone to be so depressed that they think about taking their own lives, or they just lose their minds completely. A perfectly sane person loses their minds completely because they are told, this is how the society does it.
Yeah.
So you have to do it.
You have to do it
that way.
Yeah. So I think I would say that, summarizing, I would say that GBV at whatever level, in whatever environment, should not be tolerated.
Yeah.
Because people say, the Bible. I don't remember anywhere, we are told to live our lives Christ-like. We are supposed to use Christ as, our yardstick, our marking scheme. That we need to, work hard to live our lives the way Christ did. And I do not remember anywhere that Christ was whooping women left, right, center. Maybe someone can quote that verse for me, but sikumbuki. So you cannot be quoting the Bible, yet we don't see anywhere. Even God himself says, like, for you to see the wrath of God, it really, really takes a lot of pushing and pushing and pushing time and again. He doesn't really show, and we say the fear of God is the beginning. You get to understand this thing. So I feel like violence, no, it should not even be tolerated in church. Like, we know you are violent, that's the end of it.
Yeah.
We don't want to know.
Let me just add one thing. Sorry, I know this is going to extend our clip a little bit,
Yeah.
but this is something that we was on social media about just a few weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago. There's Ida Elisha, who the actress.
Yeah.
And you know, she was describing in Lynn Gugi's channel how she was in an abusive marriage and all the things that the husband used to do to her. And you know how the pastor that she was relying on to save her from this monster is the same one who told her he has all the right to hit you if you provoke him. Oh my gosh, imagine a pastor who you expect help from.
Yeah.
Telling you your husband has all the right to hit you if you provoke him. So that means he can even kill you. I mean, you provoked him.
Yeah.
What did you expect? You expect to live if you provoke your husband. You just die.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was so painful to even watch that and to imagine someone went through it. I can only imagine the mental torture that she went through even after, way after this marriage ended and all that. What even upsets me most is, you know, the ex-sister-in-law now really trashing these sentiments and supporting her brother and saying all these bad things about her. These are the kind of people who make GBV really small in the society and encourage perpetrators in the society. You don't know your brother. I mean, you didn't live with him.
True.
So somebody can be really nice to people outside, but with the person they live with inside the house, they're really cruel. And no one else can explain this to you except the person who lives with this person inside the house.
Let me make a joke out of it as we are finalizing it. You know, Mother's Day was last Sunday, you know, so people were celebrating, sending good messages and everything, you know, and someone say that, okay, people, all of you, your mothers are nice, they are sweet, and you know, and someone mentioned there is this particular lady, like she's known in one of these government offices. So someone asked, so huyo mama ni mama ya nani? Because apparently the lady is just nasty. So mtu alikuwa anauliza, if all of your mothers ni watu wazuri, ule mama mwenye anakuanga huko, like she would insult people, she would, you know, anasema vitu wenye mpaka unakaa chini unajiuliza, okay, like what did I do wrong? Mimi nimefika tu hapa na nahitaji usaidizi. So someone was asking, huyu alikuwa mama ya nani? And then another lady responded anasema, akiwa na sisi kwa nyumba ni mtu mzuri sana. But you see, being kind or being a good-hearted person is not relative to whoever you're dealing with. If you're a nice person, you're just a nice person.
It's just character.
It's character, you know. And I think for me, when we're finalizing, nitasema hivi, I believe, you know, not everyone, even the Bible said, not everyone who calls me, you know, who calls my name would enter the kingdom of heaven. It's the same thing I would tell us. Not every pastor would tell you this and you believe simply because they are pastor. I would say let us, you know, pray for a spirit of discernment. Sometimes these pastors, some of them, they are not really walking in the light of God. Wako tu na vitu zao. So you as an individual, as much as pastors are here to guide us, purpose to also walk in that journey with God. Purpose to pray, purpose to read your Bible, so that there are particular things that happen in your life. You don't really need to be consulting prophets and watu kama hao. You just go, the Bible says, you pray, spirit of discernment shows, itakwambia, you know, wachana na huyu mtu, walk out of this situation and things like that, you know. So I would say GBV should not be tolerated at kwa environment yoyote, no. And you should not stay in an abusive marriage because unaogopa divorce. Pray about it and definitely God will give you a way out. Hata kuacha hapo ukufe. I don't think he brought you in this world to die in that way. No.
I think it's the brainwashing by the society that even makes this person, you know, you know you're supposed to live. You're not supposed to be in this dangerous situation, but you stay there because of the brainwashing by the society.
Yes.
So by the time somebody thinks about leaving, maybe it's too late.
It's too late.
Or
True.
it has gone really far. So I still think in churches they should create a department for GBV.
Yes.
I've never seen that.
They should.
Like just a gender department that deals with this. You know, it brings that seriousness that, you know, they are fighting this advice. So I think they should, in all churches, they should create that GBV department.
Yeah, like a gender department, gender social welfare,
yes,
or something.
And you know, they put experts, not at just because you're a man of God that you are there at counseling people, because there's nothing you do. You just tell people, you know, if you're provoked, it's fine. You can beat and kill and whatever, but there should be that gender department that deals with this GBV, and it should have experts. People who know what they're doing, and people who know the law and want to follow the law, and not internal investigations.
Okay, so people, today's video has been a little bit longer, but thank you for joining us. We'll keep on talking about these issues, just have conversation, you know, nothing, we're just having conversation, you know, something that people are able to relate with, something that we have gone through, you have gone through, you know, and let's create this awareness. So thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Bye-bye.